Hey, so I'm not normally one to make this type of rambly, unscripted kind of content about the state of a video game, but I kind of wanted to say a few things about Splatoon 3, and what I kind of want to see in the future for Splatoon 4. Now that we've confirmed that content updates are done, and we're just going to be getting occasional balance patches and reruns of old events. So here's the perspective of someone who mostly just helps run an organization and just like plays the game semi-casually slash coaches a beginner level team. So my perspective isn't exactly the same kind of well thought out opinion that you might get from someone like Chara, but I just wanted to throw my voice out there because more people need to be talking about this game and what like in like a form of content that's like actually digestible in some way, rather than just the cesspool that is Twitter or Blue Sky. So, first and most important thing that I actually want to discuss is right over here, actually, abilities. Um, I have opinions on what abilities that I would love to see stricken from the game entirely. And I don't know what I would replace them with, but I kind of feel as if they're toxically designed and not really healthy for the game long term, as I have seen through this game and also the history of Splatoon in general. First off, you. You and anything that alters the respawn time. Go away. I feel as if modifying the respawn time in Splatoon has always been inherently broken. Respawn Punisher is just kind of a feels bad ability that's just kind of win more because of the fact that it basically just rewards you for being a hard carry and not much else. It makes sense to run on something like E-Leader that uses its extreme range to just be able to get the benefits without much of the downside, because you're not supposed to die more than like twice on E-Leader anyway. And it's not like you're building up specials that are like really, really super impactful. Your options are Wavebreaker and Kraken, and let's be honest, Custom Leader isn't exactly the best Kraken option, since you're, again, a mile away from the action most of the time. But more to the point, quick respawn has always kind of proven to be like inherently broken in every game that it's been like prominent in. Splatoon 1, we ended in a quick respawn meta, and it ended up proving to be better than everything else. Japan was ahead of NA in that regard. They figured out the quick respawn meta far faster than we did. And yeah, that's kind of the state the game is in if you ever go back to it. Not that you can officially go back to it anymore, but, you know, the point still remains. I think abilities like Comeback are still fine, though, because, like, it still gives you a bunch of stuff for respawning. I just kind of feel as if the idea of modifying the respawn time is not something that should be in the game. Like, even if it has, like, this weird interaction where, like, oh, but if you trade, you get to, like, actually, like, be fine with modifying the respawn time, you know? Yeah, you get the benefits. So, like, it's balanced, right? Just because it's balanced doesn't mean that it's actually still healthy. And I kind of feel as if it's a ticking time bomb to see, like, whether or not, like, it's something that we want to see anymore in Splatoon. The main thing that I kind of want to stress with this is that I feel as if it is largely a rich get richer sort of thing, because you don't just see this with the with quick respawn in Splatoon 1. In this game, we have Cooler. I don't actually know if this works with the bot, but still. Oh, I can't even turn it on with Cooler active. Oh. Yeah. Being able to respawn that quickly, just because, has kind of turned the game into warping everything around Tacticooler. And we know that this is, like, more or less intended, because right now we have, like, a bunch of cooler weapons that are seeing play at the moment, and they have not shown any signs of slowing down, despite the fact that they've been nerfed. Sniper Rider did not get nearly enough to be put out of the meta as the #1 cooler option, and Heavy Edit, as I understand it, did kind of get hurt, but is still kind of around because the main weapon is still pretty strong, and Zap Comps are always an option as well. The other ones are just kind of lacking in various regards, just not having strong enough main weapons or not getting coolers fast enough to keep up with the others. Well, what's the most broken part of the Tacticooler? Well, you might say the Special Saver, and to that I kind of agree. But I think, honestly, the more insidious thing and the thing that I really feel as if they shouldn't touch is the respawn time. I need to stress over and over again that I am not a fan of lowering the respawn time in a game as fast-paced as Splatoon. There is inherently a huge advantage of being able to play the game longer than your opponents. And this is part of the reason why Tacticooler is at the top of the meta. It allows everyone to continue playing the game. But it comes at the expense of over-centralization in a role that I think is kind of needs more diversity in general. The backline anchor spot is kind of always just kind of taken up by either Heavy Edit or Pencil. And I don't think that's necessarily healthy. I kind of feel as if we need to have other diversity there. But because of the fact that dedicating one slot to being able to bring your entire team's respawns down is kind of inherently broken, and I really don't want to see it anymore. So it might be an unpopular opinion to just strike quick respawn from the game entirely. In every single form that it exists, I think it's a necessary one. Get rid of it. It's only a matter of time before we get another game where quick respawn becomes the only thing you can do. And I don't think Tacticooler should come back in the same form that it does. I think like a party-wide buff is still a really, really good design space for specials, but not in the form that it's currently in. Tacticooler is way too broken for that. So get rid of quick respawn, get rid of respawn Punisher because it does the same thing in the opposite direction and doesn't feel good. Oh yeah, Haunt. Haunt also does the same thing. Rework this so that it doesn't actually have a respawn Punisher effect anymore, and maybe make the Haunt effect like a little stronger in some way. I don't know exactly what to do. I'm not the game designer. I don't have that suggestion. Secondly, in regards to abilities, Stealth Jump, just bake this in as default. This should be just the default behavior of super jumps in general. And I think that to compensate for this, you should also change Drop Roller so that it loses the stealth jump effect if you equip Drop Roller to balance that out. This is such a gear tax on so many builds that it's kind of ridiculous. If you look at any non-anchor weapon, which is most of the weapons in the game, you will notice that most of them are running stealth jump unless they are heavily gear dependent. Like, most weapons benefit from being able to super jump safely. It is something that, like, has been proven to be good for 2 games now, and the opportunity cost for not equipping stealth jump is just way too high. Like, why would I, like, on Range Blaster, for instance, like, why would I equip stealth jump? Why would I not equip stealth jump when I want to get back into the fight really quickly on a weapon that is as slow as Range Blaster because of the fact that I always have to stop and wait for every single one of my shots to finish before I can keep swimming? Like, trying to get back to spawn like this rather than, like, trying to get back into the action by constantly doing this is just kind of a pain compared to just being able to super jump. So why would I do it like that? I think that it really should just be baked in. We can get rid of, we can make Drop Roller have a downside of going back to current super jump behavior, I guess. But yeah, that's just something I don't want to see anymore. Those are kind of the main things that I want to see changed with abilities. Ability Doubler I don't really know what to do with. I kind of feel as if, like, you can't really make this good because it's only available during Splatfests. If they make it widely available in other pieces of gear, then maybe I could see Ability Doubler seeing some use. But as it stands right now, it's just kind of like that bad ability you don't want to have on your Splatfest tee, which I think is fine, but whatever. Oh yeah, third ability I want to see removed from the game, tenacity. And to some extent, I kind of want special charge to be nerfed as well. I'm not sure if I want to go all the way with removing special charge as a concept, but again, I think modifying the rate at which you get your specials also has led to a lot of toxic metagames, and is kind of the primary reason why Pencil is as over-centralizing as it is. You run enough special charge, and all of a sudden that 210p that Pencil has is kind of a non-issue. Because this is a weapon that doesn't happen to have very much gear dependency. So 210p doesn't actually really matter all that much, especially when you have a Sprinkler as well to help with the pain output. This weapon really did just win the lottery after its buffs. Like, in order to just become the most dominant force in Splatoon 3, it's like one of the most dominant weapons I've ever seen. And just because of the fact that it enables a style of play that is generally good and people like, doesn't necessarily mean that it's not healthy. Doesn't mean that it's healthy. Like, I really don't feel as if special charge should be able to catapult a weapon to viability, like, at the levels that Snipe Rider is at. And special spam metagames have never exactly felt good in Splatoon. I don't really like, let's point to Splatoon 2 some. We don't exactly like the days of being able to spam missiles and Stingray, like, all the time. Armor to some lesser extent as well. That game had a lot of problems, mostly in how the main weapons ended up balanced in such a way to allow shooters to just completely take over. But, excuse me, the specials were kind of a problem too, and being able to spam more of them is not exactly good either. And I feel as if it's only a matter of time before we find a new spammable special that special charge completely breaks. And right now, like, while it is tacticooler, and yes, it's enabling a metagame that is fast and fun, I don't feel as if going forward we should keep this in the game. I think it's going to end up leading to some really degenerate kind of metagames if we keep it as is. I feel as if just nerfing special charge might be the way to go to make it make it require more gear in order to get the effects that it currently gives. Because I don't want to see something like Pencil happen again where, like, just one slot on the team is so role compressed and so efficient that, like, every other option is just gone. But moving away from abilities, because I think I've said my piece on what I want to see different there. Stage design, obviously, I kind of feel as if I want to return back to the days of Splatoon 2 stage design. The ways that we've had stages like... The way that we've had stages like Undertow Spillway, where it feels like if this was just given like 1 or 2 extra routes, this stage would be amazing. I kind of want to, like, encourage that style a little bit more. I think some of the later stages that we got in the game, like Crab Leg, ended up being, like, pretty good to play on, despite the fact that they're still kind of suffering from the similar problems. But I'm beating a dead horse in regards to Splatoon 3 map design. I think we all want to see the stage quality improve in Splatoon 4. I am going to also throw my hat in the ring for being someone who wants to do away with the current kit system. The fact that we ended Splatoon 3 with only 2 kits on every weapon, and some weapons got horribly screwed in terms of kits. Looking at you, Paintbrush. I really kind of... just to name one off the top of my head, I really feel as if I would love to see just more kit customization. I don't want to go full hog of you can pick any sub and special on any main weapon. I would rather keep it to you can pick any combination of 3 subs and 3 specials for any one main weapon. And any sort of unlockable post-launch content could be like skins or like maybe we can do balance patches where weapon access to certain subs and specials could get changed over time. Having that level of diversity from the get and being able to balance it afterwards, I think, is going to be a lot more healthy than what we had going through Splatoon 3, where every main weapon only had one option for a long time, and some of them had to wait for the entirety of the game's life for the final season in order to get their second kits, which is way too long for pretty much every weapon. I'm a range blaster player these days, and the fact that CRB took this long to get into the game was actually just stupid, especially since they ended up just doing a reference kit. Like, come on. This could have been in the game much sooner. I think having to drip feed the content the way that they did was not great. It kind of made every season feel like kind of a wet noodle, and even the good seasons were still just okay compared to some of the major updates we got in Splatoon games prior. I kind of feel as if the seasonal model could work, but I kind of feel as if they need to put more effort into the different types of content, because limited time events are not it. There's a significant chunk of the player base, myself included, that are absolutely sick of Splatfest and cannot get invested enough into Salmon Run to always care about Big Run. But come on. We need, I would personally love to see, like, more diverse, kinds of content. Honestly, I think the biggest thing that I want to see is just a new regular battle. Like, just an alternative mode to Turf War, maybe one with a light objective. Like, one thing I will give Tricolor Turf War, for as flawed as that mode has been, having the Ultra Signal as an objective in Turf War is just kind of an inherently good idea. I feel as if Turf War, where the only objective is paint the floor, is kind of boring after a while. Like, after you get out of your casual phase in Splatoon and move into competitive, you kind of stop playing Turf War entirely unless you really don't want to turn your brain on. And for someone like me, who is constantly turning her brain on, I really don't want to. I don't want to play Turf War. This is why I don't play Splatfest very much. Even during Grand Fest, I kind of had to force myself to play. Despite the fact that, like, it's like, oh, it's the big Final Fest, but, like, it's still Turf War. I don't like Turf War. Most of the weapons that I like playing are bad in Turf War. Give me something that, like, makes my weapons, like, decent to play in the casual mode where I don't have to think about things as much. Yeah, off the top of my head, I think that might be it for what I want to say at the moment. Another regular battle mode, put challenges on, like, constantly. Like, there's no reason there should be gaps where challenges are just not available. Those wacky alternate modes are really, really fun. Just let me be able to do them whenever instead of just in 2-hour periods. Even if they're running them more often, there's no reason they should be limited time. Just let them run all the time. I think another alternative to Anarchy Open should exist. I think League Battle is still something that I think is something that we sorely miss from Splatoon 2. Table Turf should probably get expanded a little bit, make it a little bit more enticing. I barely played it since launch. I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. I got my main things out of the way, so yeah. Bye.